Well, Jones, as round 13 of the Betfred Super League gets underway between these two sides, and it's going to be Dejan Assi who is going to kick this one in towards the far right-hand corner, and straight away a little bit of a tester as far as Mark Sneed is concerned, and then straight away a big tackle on Lukier. Sam Powell back in the side this evening as Sneed quickly brings it down to the hands of it was Stefan Ratchford there, of course, playing in his 350th appearance tonight, Stefan Ratchford for the Warrington Wolves, so an incredible milestone for him. Many congratulations to Steph on a long and illustrious career.
Yeah, an absolute legend of these towns in the Warrington Wolves colours tonight. Stefan Ratchford's played his 350th game, and he'll be hoping he can push himself into that starting team next week, although Captain Fantastic, I'm sure, will come in and take his place.
That's a long, high, big, difficult kick there for Castleford to try and get hold of, and Josh Sim did well to bring that one back with his back to play there, as he had to turn round and grab hold of it. Eventually, though, they get it away, Castleford Tigers. The first of the big tackles going in on the Castleford players, and this is going to be interesting to see, Kev, because we mentioned about the injuries. There's no way that you can really wrap yourself up in cotton wool ahead of a big final when you're playing a game like this against Castleford Tigers.
No, it's always there in the back of your mind, but you just want to get out there. You need to be aggressive and front load, the start of the game. Castleford are moving the ball, but that opening set, Castleford really got shoulder to shoulder and tried to be physical, but Warrington moved the ball. I thought they were very smart by the outside backs and the half backs of the Wolves.
Here's Sini as Sim comes in to give him a bit of a hand as well. Out to the left-hand side, the first boot upfield for Rowan Mills. And Dufty pouches that one quite happily on his own 20-metre line. Dufty, one of the real stars of this Warrington side this season.
He is, and he plays it right on the edge, doesn't he? He's always chirping and pushing and shoving, and he's just such a competitor, Fraser. And I'm sure Castleford tonight will be trying to get under his skin.
Ratchford with a wayward pass there. Picked up well, though, by Thewlis and offloaded to Roderick Ty. Ty out to the 40-metre line. And so Warrington tried to bring it forward again. Powell waiting at dummy half. Back in the side for Warrington Wolves, playing at hooker this evening. Quite a few changes, as we mentioned early on in this game. That was one of them, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, as Sneed, who's another one, hoist this one high. Such a sad situation for Ollie Leyland to find his season over, but he is added to a very long list of casualties here at the HJ, along with Crowther, Ashton, King, Walker, Hayes, Kai Taylor-Ray. They are hopeful, they are really hopeful that George Williams is going to be back for that showpiece on Saturday.
Yeah, and all signs are that he is going to be fit and ready to go. But tonight, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, who's a real key member of this Warrington Wolves side, not only is a fantastic back rower, he frees up Ben Curry in the middle of the field to play that ball-playing loose forward role, where I feel he's much more suited now than playing on that edge.
Horn is at dummy half as it's fed out wide to the left-hand side. Dejan Assi gets his hands on it briefly. Castleford wearing their change strip, the charity strip, which has a hark back to the influences, the Papua New Guinea side that has been such an influence on Castleford Tigers players over the years. So Warrington get possession once again, back on their own 10-metre line, and now to the 20 as they bring it forward. Powell out to his left-hand side. Big tackles going in early doors from these Castleford Tigers players. They will not be giving an inch, despite the fact that it was Danny Maguire who agreed to allow this game to be brought forward a couple of days so that Warrington could have the full 7 days preparation. He said, although it's not ideal from his perspective, if he was wearing the same shoes, so to speak, he would want to have the full 7 days if he could possibly get it.
Yeah, especially with the concussion rules. Any head knock would rule him out if it was any shorter. Just watching both sets, though. They're going at it, aren't they, Fraser?
It's a great catch from Texoy.
There's absolutely no easing up. They're going into each other. I'm sure Castleford will be really trying to, if it is in the back of the man, bring it to the front of the man and really try to hurt him in the tackles.
Hoy again, waiting behind. They've been playing in good patches, Castleford. I watched a good deal of the game against Leeds last week, and certainly for the first 40 they were very, very competitive indeed. They just lack perhaps a little bit of cutting edge occasionally now and then, as the ball goes down here, as it comes out of the hands of Atkin.
Yeah, they just got the timing wrong there. It was Dan Okoro on loan from the Warrington Wolves, and the man that they got from the Salford Red Devils, Chris Atkin, was just trying to find a little play out the back. And unfortunately, it's a penalty. He was offside when he dropped on that ball there, Chris Atkin.
Well, Mark Sneed was picking up the ball there and looked as if he might be heading for the two, but then has decided to go for the kick on the far side. And why not on these early stages with less than 6 minutes on the clock? Give yourself the opportunity. 20 metres from the Castleford Tigers line now, Warrington Wolves, as Powell gets this out to Ratchford. Quickly for Vaughan. Another player who was one of the changes and back in the side here this evening. How he would love to be going to Wembley at the weekend. Some places possibly still up for grabs. I think this man might well be one of the first on the team sheet, though. Dufty swinging it wide out to the left-hand side. Lindop has found himself a little bit of space. Hewless was waiting on the overlap. Castleford close it down quickly before Fitzgibbon. Just a couple of metres from the line. Eating up the tackles here and eating up the metres, Warrington Wolves. As Powell waits, finds Vaughan. Vaughan going for the line himself and held up just short. Just short. Trademark move from Paul Vaughan. Here they come again, though. Sneed, rubber kick going for the corner over the top here, and well diffused, well intercepted there by the Tigers.
Yeah, beautiful defence there, but I think he's been pushed back, hasn't he, by Roderick Ty and Stephen Ratchford. It's a great kick, and that's what Mark Sneed brings, doesn't he? Absolutely pinpoint accuracy every time he puts that left boot onto the ball. Great take by Senior, but again they're going to have to be good. And Matt Dufty, he just shows how dangerous he is, Fraser. He picked the ball up, there was nothing doing on the right hand side. He skirts across to the left and finds some space to Lindop. Such a dangerous player.
Castleford, interestingly, the only team with a kick defusal rate above 80% in this season's Super League, while Warrington are the only side with a rate below 60%. So when those little chip balls come through from Mark Sneed, the statistics will tell you that Castleford, in most cases, will have a good idea as to what to do with it. They're having to defend at the moment, though. Okoro in the tackle along with Vaughan. As Vaughan comes forward again, barging and bulldozing his way through defenders. Powell, and the whistle's gone here.
I'm going to say challenge this one. Paul Vaughan's not happy.
They're having a quick look to try and decide. He's asking the question now, the referee, of Paul Vaughan and also Steph Ratchford, as to whether or not they want to challenge this one.
Took a little bit of time. They didn't want to listen to the front rower at first.
So they are going to send this one up to Chris Kendall to have another look at this one with a captain's challenge from Warrington Wolves.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. The live view is that the ball's been put on the foot of Okoro. Paul Vaughan needs to get up and find space. Okay, he's put the ball down on the ground in space, and the Castleford defender has come back through the ruck. It's challenge successful. It will be a penalty to Warrington.
So the challenge is successful, and Warrington will get the ball back.
Yeah, smart play there by the captain and Paul Vaughan. No, he was adamant straight away, wasn't it? And he hadn't fumbled the ball. They'll be delighted that he's back. Not only is he a big man, powerful runner, he can do big minutes as well. And the form props in the game.
Dangerous position this as well for Warrington, as Powell just quickly tips it off and straight into the hands for Luke Yates to come forward before Paul Vaughan eventually brings this one just a couple of metres away from the line now. Powell again waiting behind him. We've got Fitzgibbon to his left, but he goes to the right-hand side instead. Sneed with quick hands through again for Yates. They can sniff an opportunity here and miss out Vaughan this time. Curry goes for the line himself. Ball down just short as Powell again waits. Options to his left and right, but he's gone for the long one out to Sneed, White out on the right-hand side. This will go out towards Thulis, who's got himself some space in the corner. And time after time after time, we've seen that. Josh Thulis back in the side again and scoring in the corner. It's trademark Warrington Wolves.
Yeah, beautiful play, beautiful link-up play by Mark Sneed. Playing both sides of the field tonight as a first receiver. Defends on the left side, but he was on the right side there. He goes right to the line and he finds Matt Duffy, and he shows us again, Matt Duffy, why he's such a dangerous player for any defence. When he gets the ball, just have a watch on the replay in a second. He gets the ball and he skips over and makes Senior come in. Beautiful ball there, wasn't it? Long ball from Powell starts it off. And then Mark Sneed just goes right into the line. And then the pace brings Senior in. His brother follows. You've got to get used to these finishes now by the wingers in the Betfred Super League. They make the ridiculously hard look very, very easy. That's what Josh Thulis did there.
It all stemmed from that captain's challenge, didn't it? Giving them field position in such a dangerous place after, like you said, Paul Vaughan was absolutely adamant that there'd been some kind of interference there when the ball was put down.
And I think it's a brilliant rule. You know, you only get one. You have to use it wisely. Obviously, they've used it in the first 10 minutes. They got the right result, and it results in points.
Mark Sneed down with the kick from the corner, and he couldn't be any closer, really. But we've seen him kick it from here time after time after time. He only needs 6 goals to pass Andy Farrell and go into 4th place on the all-time Super League goal chart.
You've cursed him.
He's missed this one, though. Well, it's a rarity, let's be honest. That's one for the scrapbook when Mark Sneed misses. But there's no mistaking how accurate this was.
Well, that was absolutely on the money, wasn't it? At pace, you know, clinical execution. Josh Thulis races in to get this crowd going. This is what they want, won't they? To blow this Castleford side away, take that energy and aggression out of the team. And hopefully Sam Burgess can take any players off that have any knocks or have any niggles.
Especially when you consider that they've lost their last 3 in Super League. In between those games, of course, was that dramatic semi-final against Lee, where they put on one of the most exciting performances of the season, and they'll certainly have to be at their best against Hull KR next week, but they would take a huge amount of confidence if they were to get 2 points here again tonight. Yeah,
they'll want the 2 points, and they'll want a good performance. They'll also want to give these fans at Warrington something to cheer about, because it has been pretty poor in the league for the last couple of months. Only three losses and 1 win in the last 4. That's not what you'd expect from this Warrington Wolves side.
Innis Senior decides to let that one go. Can't get any further, any closer to it.
Great kick, isn't it?
It was attempting maybe a 40-20 there, I'm not quite sure, but either way, Castleford get possession back. And, it's Lewis Senior who this time is being shoved back before Assi brings it on. Castleford try and push themselves a little further forward, but they're running into brick walls at the moment in this Warrington defence.
That's a real good sign of the mentality, isn't it? The way that they're getting off the line and really bending the backs. You know, Luke Yates and Paul Vaughan really leading this team so far tonight.
With a quick pass, and the second pass to Texoy was just a little bit too fizzy. Just a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, he's not happy, Texoy there. Again, it was Atkin and Milnes. I don't think Hoy was expecting it, was behind him. We're going to have to defend that line once again.
Let's get in. Nice and tight on the first scrum, second.
Danny Maguire
make sure we bind.
Watching from the sidelines. Always an animated character when he's watching his side.
Get your head and arms around.
Chris Chester, of course, behind him as well, having recently come in as head of recruitment. How much will that affect things, do you think, Chris Chester being in the background at Castleford now?
Oh, if you look at the results and the signings that Chris Chester was part of at the Lee Leopards, then you'd expect, you know, some absolute belting signings. I don't think it'll help too much in the short term, but definitely long term as Brad Singleton gets off his line. Really tries to lift his side.
Sam Powell put under real pressure there, and Warrington finding themselves pushed back a good 10 metres or so from where they were as Yates tries to make up the rest of that ground. Powell again goes to his left for Ben Curry. Sneed quickly short in towards Aaron Lindop.
Great tackle by Sim.
Dufty takes it quickly, finds Vaughan, trying to jink his way through the Castleford defence. He's still very, very close here, Paul Vaughan. The referee right on the spot there to make sure, as Paul Vaughan is denied. They'll have a second chance here though. Sneed, another one goes jinking up into the air, and the referee says that was played at, so there'll be 6 more here for Warrington Wolves. Less than 10 metres away from the line now. They sense the chance of a second as Vaughan again. Powell now waiting just behind him, goes for the short side on the left. Dufty quickly, quick hands again, and on the left side this time it's Jake Thewlis who gets himself on the score sheet. 2 tries from the 2 Thewlis brothers.
Yeah, and again, the orchestrator there was Matt Dufty. Just went through a great face ball, but there was still a fair bit to do for Aaron Lindop. And it came off the kick again, didn't it, from Mark Sneed. Such a threat. He tried to trap it with the feet. They got the set restart. They got the 6 again. Just so threatening both sides of the field tonight, the Wolves. Mark Sneed and Dufty, there we see. It's real smart play by Luke Yates to get on that ball. And then look at this, just the face ball, but the quick hands, because Josh Sim went to shut down Aaron Lindop. Get to see the reverse angle. Beautiful quick hands, almost out of his hands before he even gets time. Josh Sim to close him down. And the Thewlis brothers getting one over the senior twins tonight.
Jake Thewlis back at Warrington after a couple of games on a loan spell with Salford. He played in the defeat at Wakefield not so long ago, but missed last week's Hull KR defeat. It's his 4th try of the season though, and now we look and see whether Mark Sneed can get a bit closer to that record I was mentioning earlier, although having said that, from where we are, the sun will be a little bit in his eyes. It's just streaming over the top of the stand. I think he's just about covered in the shade. And this time, Sneed just get the extra 2 points.
Yeah, Castleford and Danny Maguire be really disappointed. Almost been their own worst enemy at the moment. We saw the Danakoro drop and Atkin giving a penalty away on the first try. And then on the second try, Texoy drops the ball. So you can't give us an attacking side with so many threats Warrington Wolves have got. So much time in your own half. At some point they need to get better with the ball, get cleaner, or it's going to be a long evening for the Tigers.
10 points to 0. The home side lead here at the Halliwell Jones. And Warrington would dearly love to be taking a victory before they head down to Wembley at the weekend, next weekend of course.
The shape the Warrington Wolves are just falling in time and time again. Really struggling to cope with it, the Castleford Tigers, and once again just pushing with numbers. Stephen Ratchford, senior, in his 350th game, just pushing this team around.
Position given away here because Cash players are offside. Going from bad to worse here in these early stages of the game.
Yeah, Brad Singleton and Danakoro just shaking their heads. You've got to get out of the ruck. Just stayed in there way too long.
So Warrington get possession again, this time just inside the Castleford half. Wanting to take it fairly quickly as Luke Yates almost bursting through the tackles there. Powell waits, goes to his right-hand side this time for Stefan Ratchford.
Good shot.
It goes in quickly.
Senior put his shoulder in there on Adam Holroyd.
Ratchford again into Curry. Perot goes in for the tackle, along with Liam Horn. Powell again, plays it short. Vaughan, so many of those quick runs from Paul Vaughan, and a lovely little offload. As Ratchford has it again, here's Dufty. Dufty switching play over to the opposite side of the pitch, trying to find a gap. It almost came through for Aaron Lindop. Castleford closely keeping an eye on it though as they push him out towards the corner. Terrific little offload from Paul Vaughan. Powell though running it back out to the opposite side now where Dufty had come from on the previous play. Yates steals an extra yard as it's offloaded to the right hand side. Touch through from Ratchford. They might get this down here with Roderick Tye. Ball was spilled by the Castleford defence, and Roderick Tye, quick as he likes, said thank you very much. But the referee wants to have another look at this one. So we go again to the video assistant, Chris Kendall.
Okay, we have a live call of try. It's come from a kick, so we'll always check onside, offside. Everyone to the right, everyone is onside. Everyone has both feet behind the ball. It's then touched backwards by Castleford. We'll go to a corner view. Got a live view of try. Okay, does Roderick Tye get his hand on the ball? Can't see much on camera 2, we'll go to camera 1. I'll just go camera 5, we'll see if that shows me anything. If not, we'll go back to camera 1. Okay, this is probably going to be my best angle combined with camera 1. Bouncing ball. Ball's on the ground, and that is Tye's hand on the ball. I've viewed the angles I need, I've made my decision.
Decision incoming then, after the video referee had a good long look at that one. It's only his second of the season, but it's a crucial one from Roderick Tye as he increases the Warrington Wolves lead.
Yeah, and Scott Morell's bringing the message on from Danny Maguire to the Castleford Tigers. Looks very animated at the minute, and he should be. Again, it's a penalty, but Stephen Ratchford, the variety of the kicking game. Mark Sneap does 90%, but this time Stephen Ratchford just puts a beautiful weighted kick. We've seen he couldn't clean it up. The big man Roderick Tye was there to pounce on the try.
Meanwhile, Mark Sneed adds the extras to make it 2 from 3. And Warrington Wolves, with less than 20 minutes on the clock, leading by 16 points to 0.
Yeah, Sam Burgess will be absolutely delighted. It's almost been a canter, hasn't it? After 20 minutes, just behind a point a minute.
Roderick Tye in good form for Warrington Wolves. And for Sam Burgess's side, even in defeat last week, he still made 125 metres with the ball.
Great ball, Paul Vaughan.
Yeah. This is the difficulty I think Castleford are going to have when you've got some of the big guys on the field, like Paul Vaughan, like Lachlan Fitzgibbon, like Ben Curry and Luke Yates. They are big guys, and if they're playing the ball quickly like they are here, straight into those big guys, then you're running into brick walls day after day.
Yeah, we mentioned the injury crisis or the injury absentees for the Wolves. There is a few for the Tigers as well. Tom Amon, Ryan Westerman was a late withdrawal.
Dufty is tackled as Powell gets it out now to Fitzgibbon for the halfway line. And they're back into Castleford Tigers territory where the vast majority of the possession has been so far in the favour of Warrington Wolves. As Sneed hoists another big high kick for Tex Hoy to try and get underneath, and he does well, and he's almost through the defence here. Shapes to go one way, goes out to the left-hand side. They're coming away with it once again through Senior, out towards the halfway line. Is there a foot in touch there? Referee says no, the touch judge was in the perfect position. They'll go again here with Tex Hoy.
Yeah, and that was more like it. The man that we talked about pre-game, Tex Hoy, got the ball off a beautiful kick from Sneed. just found some space, and it looked like Senior was going to go down the wing, but Roderick Ty, great cover tackle.
George Griffin is tackled. He's come on as a substitute as Horn gets it away to the left-hand side for Atkin. Assey now into the corner, still going Assey. Takes a little bit of difficulty for Warrington to make the challenge as Senior goes in to deny anyone coming further up the field in the shape of Josh Dewlis. Roderick Ty is tackled again. This was the run just a little earlier from Assey.
Lack of patience there for me, Fraser. Looked really good. Then all of a sudden he just tried to force that pass. Turns over possession once again. But up until that point, that was Castleford Tigers' best set, but this won't be.
Well, the referee's called a halt to proceedings at the moment because we've got a player who is still receiving some attention over on the far side.
I think it was after he threw the ball. Was it DJ Assey?
This is the run earlier on from Texoy, though. This is brilliant stuff from him.
Yeah, lovely done it, and then find it. But look at the tackle from Roderick Ty. No self-preservation there. He's not worried about the cup final next week.
Let's have a look at what's going on in the rest of the Betfred Super League so far this evening. Hull KR also warming up for the Challenge Cup final. 12-0 up against St Helens. We've found a little bit of form in recent weeks. And Wigan are 10-0 up against Salford Red Devils. As Alex Mellor here goes off for a little bit of extra treatment. I suspect there were probably a head injury assessment there. That's what happened in the challenge.
Yeah.
Just a little clash of heads there with Roderick Ty.
Yeah, he just gets his head on the wrong side. It's the shoulder from Roderick Ty.
I'll keep you up to date with that one in terms of whether Alex Mellor makes it back onto the pitch.
Worrying signs now for the Cast Tigers. Done an awful lot of defending. It's taking 2 or 3 players for the middle unit to get back behind the ball.
Horn right to the right-hand side, quickly down the hands. And George Lawler brings it almost to the 40-metre line before Mill gets it away again. Here's Griffin. Horn playing at dummy half. He's a real bag of tricks player as well, Liam Horn, although he had a bit of a nightmare against Leeds last week, getting himself sent off within the first 10 minutes to the bin. For Assey, launches this one high. Quickly again, taken well by Warrington Wolves from Matt Dufty. How he loves to just scamper sideways and confuse defences and draw players in.
Yeah, and he's only really small, but he's so strong. He bounces out of tackles and he just glides, doesn't he? Skips to that next defender, then nonchalantly just plays the ball and beats people. Terrific player.
James Harrison on as a substitute for Warrington. Powell just waiting for him. Joe Philbin has also come on as a substitute as well as Ratchford gets this one in out towards the 40-metre line for the Warrington Wolves as it comes back inside again. Sneed, huge high kick into that patch of sunshine that's just coming through the stands over on that far side. Well taken again.
Roderick Ty just flying through. Oh, that does not look good for Lachlan Fitzgibbon, let me tell you, Fraser. He's clutched at his knee.
Oh dear.
He's limping away.
Yeah.
We'll be hoping he can get up and play on.
He is limping along, he's trying to run it off. But as he said, Kev, that did not look good, and he's just on his haunches at the moment, just having a look. He's really struggling to get back.
He is. It was just here. Gets his knee under. Maybe luckily it flicked out just at the last moment.
Castleford then with a little bit of impetus here. As Senior goes down in the tackle, it's Lewis Senior in this particular case. Although very, very difficult to tell apart the two twins. Dufty takes it well.
Yeah, brings it back and just finds his front. That's where they probably need to pick him up and carry him back a little bit. The kick a little bit short there of the mark where Texoy wanted it to land.
Find me, George, find me.
Sneed. Towards Lindop. 4 men and then 3 in the tackle for Castleford. Powell marshalling his troops away to the right. Into Curry. Well held off. Here's Harrison. Harrison with a little bit of space. Not quite sure whether to go for it himself. He's needing some support, which does eventually arrive. And Harrison all of a sudden has given Warrington another real opportunity. Sneed looking to go one way, then goes for the quick flick through for Warrington as Holroyd comes through with it, just a couple of metres short from the line. Powell goes away to his left-hand side. Sneed looking for the kick to the corner, looking for Thewlis. That's well held up though. Great defending from Castleford Tigers. Referee though, has blown the whistle.
Yeah, the same as offside, I think. It was a great kick, wasn't it, by Mark Sneed? He's got all the tricks as he throws the ball back. I didn't see an offside.
Josh Sim with a terrific tackle there. But here's the kick from Sneed, and you can see how time after time that kind of thing will bamboozle teams. But Castleford equal to it.
Yeah, and they needed to be. You know, they need to score next if they've got any hope of winning this game. Well, and thankfully for the Warrington fans and the Warrington club, Lachlan Fitzgibbon does look like he's been able to shake that tackle off.
Here's Griffin again. It's, Mellor, we understand, has failed his head injury assessment, so Alex Mellor will not be playing any further part in this game. Here's Assi out wide to the left-hand side. Senior with quick hands. Chip forward here, almost held down. The ball all over the place here. It's eventually dabbed down by Tex Hoy. But the referee says that will be a restart.
Yeah, I think it was Roderick Ty. He just got there in the nick of time to get the ball down. It was a beautiful play. The senior twins link up. Lovely kick back on the inside. That's the Stefan Ratchford who gets the ball down. Real smart play. That was something Tony Smith always said. Instead of kicking the ball dead, just put the ball down.
10 seconds.
Saves any embarrassment missing the ball or not quite getting the distance on it. Real smart play there by the experienced Stefan Ratchford.
Good advice from Tony Smith, a coach who knows a thing or two about success at Warrington, of course. Griffin for Castleford Tigers, 30 metres from the Warrington line, enjoying a bit of possession now. We need to try and turn that into a bit of pressure. Here's Hoy skipping away to Lewis Senior, just over 10 metres short. Everybody down the right-hand side. They take it quickly. Hoy into Atkin, and now Griffin. Griffin taking the tackle, gets the offload away for Atkin again. Mill, quick hands into Lawler. He shrugs off one tackle, but then goes down. Everybody in a red shirt scampering quickly across as Milnes finds Atkin. The tackle gets gobbled up once again. Horn waiting. Goes short, in towards Griffin. Griffin going for the line himself. Held up well, stood up there by Harrison. Horn quickly to Milnes, looking for the dab down for Lawler. And I think he's got this one here, George Lawler. Referee will have a look at it. He says yes. And Castleford Tigers have slowly but surely found themselves a way back into this game.
Yeah, crucial score there by the back rower tonight. Normally plays in the front row, the number 10, George Lawler. And it was a beautiful short side kick by Rowan Mills. Just opens it up with a dummy and then puts it on that left boot. Very, very accurate kick. Very hard to defend. You can see there, Mark Sneed tries to dive and drop on the ball. But it was off the play, the ball from George Griffin. He gets up. It's not a quick play, the ball. But he gets up before Harrison plays the ball. And he just opens it up with his dummy, finds a beautiful kick. And they're back in the game, Fraser.
Well, indeed. And certainly you would expect the Castleford side, that is coached by Danny Maguire, to fight Like they have nothing better to depend on other than the fight and the possibility of getting back into a game.
Yeah, and I think the effort and the energy's been there all night. It's just been their execution and the smarts. They've given a couple of penalties away, and they've just asked Warrington to come at them with their attack. Danny Maguire have been much happier than the last 10 minutes or so, threatening on both sides and then coming away with some points. Real crucial moments in the game.
Rowan Mills then with the chance to add the extras, which could be crucial to bring it back to within 10 points. And he does so very convincingly.
Yeah, very convincingly. That left foot by Rowan Mills created the try and then converted the goal. Get to see another angle of this. It's a great way, and it needed some scoring as well. 16-6 with 9 minutes to go to half time. Don't want to go back to back or coast to coast here and do the same again.
Castleford fans who have made their way down across the M62, which is pretty brave on a Friday afternoon, I have to be honest. It's given something to cheer about. And you can certainly see the way that Castleford have been improving in recent games, especially under Danny Maguire. Their league position perhaps not exactly what they would like to be in. But as I say, there's a real carrot on the stick here for Castleford. If they can get 2 points here tonight, they would close to within just 2 points of their opponents here. There's the try scorer, Lawler, to just before the halfway line. Liam Horn down to his left. And Atkin now for the Tigers, and Griffin has spilled the ball there, and it's gobbled up quickly by Roderick Tye.
Well, again, very similar to DJ Arce before. He just didn't deserve, he didn't earn the right to pass that ball there, George Griffin. No, he's fumbling the ball, he never has control of it, tries to offload an impossible position.
Looks like that was a high tackle there on Aaron Lindop. As Rowan Mill got a hand in an area where it shouldn't be.
I'll be disappointed with that, Warner. Gets him straight across the jaw. And if there is one way, Fraser, how to concede points, it's dropping the ball, giving penalties away.
It's the kind of thing that coaches just hate, isn't it?
Yeah, you can do all the training you want, but if you're ill-disciplined with and without the ball, it's going to be a very, very tough game.
Fitzgibbon, who seems to have shaken off that earlier knock that he had. As Powell brings it out to Sneed. Quick hands again for Max Wood, who's come on as a substitute for Warrington. Powell. Wide to Ratchford. Quick in again. Joe Philbin just short of the line. Powell, long cross pass from Powell. They go long again down to this left-hand side for Jake Thewlis. The Castleford defenders again standing up strong. Lindop back across the line for Sneed and Harrison. Harrison again, a real bulldozer of a player. Powell goes the short side this side, but in towards Lindop. Lindop will dab this one down. And once again, Warrington Wolves seek out the opportunity and they take it.
Beautiful, beautiful play there by Matt Duffy. When he gets the ball, there's nothing really on. There's 4 defenders and 4 attackers. But as we've said all night, he just glides on his feet. He gets the third in defender, as you see behind. Mills just comes in a little bit. That brings in Zach Seeney. And then Aaron Lindop. Just a great crash ball. Call this a face ball pass. It goes in front of the face of one player, the back rower, Fitzgibbon. Straight to Lindop, who finds the outside shoulder. And that man, Matt Duffy, he's having a stellar performance tonight. Exactly what his coach would have wanted going into such a big game next week.
Well, it's all going perfectly to plan as far as Warrington Wolves are concerned, apart from the one try that they've conceded. But so far, they will be absolutely delighted with the way this has turned out, and they get the full 7 days to prepare for next week as well.
Yeah, and it's been earned, hasn't it? You know, they've been clean with the ball, they've been well disciplined, and defensively they've been solid. So it's a fantastic performance so far by the Wolves. Castleford will be really disappointed.
Sneed then. A little bit more of the sun is in his eyes, as you can probably see from there. We're having to squint from this position to see whether or not the ball goes over, but it has done. He makes it 3 from 4. Warrington starting to extend the lead and starting to look like the kind of side that really will be challenging for a Challenge Cup.
Yeah, and Aaron Lindop, real impressive player, isn't it? Still very young, but he's in the side on merit. Well, there's no Toby King. I think Lindop gets in this team now on merit. And you can see why when he's hitting lines. He's created one for Jake Fulis and scored one himself.
His 6th Super League try of the season, Aaron Lindop. There's Joe Philbin, who's coming off the bench. Brings it forward for Warrington. And quickly again, they just want to play this ball so rapidly. The home side for Harrison to eat up a few more metres. Here's Wood. Wood, gets away from his marker, still getting away here. Max Wood over the halfway line. He needs some support. Castleford Tigers trying to bring him down, but they can't. He's still going, Max Wood. What a run!
Yeah, what a run and what a bench it's been. Harrison, Wood and Philbin. Terrific 3 changes so far.
They're on the back foot again here, Castleford, but they lose the ball. Of course, Dufty has dropped it backwards, has he? The referee says that will be a knock-on by the looks of things, and Castleford will get possession back.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to give this to Warrington. I'm sure he put the first one. He is. A run by Max Wood, the front rower. Get out my way, Louis Senior.
Players just bouncing off him left, right and centre.
Yeah, it's a good call that by the referee. Louis Senior just gets his hand to it. And this is going to be real dangerous. Watch Matt Duff here. He stands right behind. And Liam Horn's trying to do the same behind the scrum, and he'll pick a side and be really threatening here, Fraser.
Marcus Griffiths getting a great view of it and calling it right there. As Lindop, try scorer just a couple of minutes ago, in possession. Dufty waiting. Dufty out to Sneed. Sneed to Harrison. Harrison has had a major effect on Warrington since coming on. Another battering ram. Sneed quickly out to Ratchford. Quick hands from Ty, too quick for Josh Thulis, and the ball goes out of play.
Yeah, it was almost perfect once again. The build-up play was fantastic, and Roderick Ty just couldn't do what his opposite partner did. Aaron Lindop earlier, catch and pass in one movement. Castleford Tigers just saying, big relief again. I do believe if they score one more try before Castleford, it's a long, long way back.
And Castleford being pushed back inside their own 20-metre line again. That's been an impressive part of this performance as well, as Max Wood, who was trying to stake his place perhaps for a seat on the bus down to London next weekend.
Not having a bad fist of it, is he, so far?
He's giving it a good go. Lawler, they still can't get out of their own 20 here, Castleford. I was going to say that it's a real hallmark of the effort that Warrington have put in to push Castleford back time and time again when they've been in possession.
Great defence. Sliding defence there by Ratchford and Ty. Look really connected on that right edge.
There's Griffin. All the visitors slowly making progress as Horn. Now it's hoisted forward by Atkin. Quickly into the hands of Thulis. Runs into 3 Castleford defenders.
So similar to his brother, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit stronger and stockier than Josh on the opposite wing. A talented player.
Warrington just happy to throw the ball around here, just on the halfway line, as Ty goes down in the tackle. Ratchford on his 350th Warrington appearance. Fitzgibbon has lost it though. They'll come away with it here through Sini, but the whistle, or rather the hooter, has gone on what has been a thoroughly impressive performance by the Warrington Wolves.
Yeah, there'll be a contrasting team talk. I think Danny Maguire will be ripping the paint off the walls. Some of the errors and penalties just not good enough if you want to come and compete at such a difficult place to come. And Sam Burgess, I think he'll be delighted. It's not been perfect, but it's not been far off. I think the kicking game from Sneyd and Ratchford has been really tested, and Matt Duffy, for me, so far the best player on the field. He's just created 3 tries on his own, been a threat every time he's carried the ball. Terrific half from that man. Stellar first half performance. They'll be hoping for no injuries and more of the same in the second half.
Castleford with a tough run of 5 coming up as well. LFC, LKR, Wigan, Huddersfield and Salford. So a tough few weeks in prospect for Danny Maguire's side. It's the home side though here who are about to get us off and underway in this second half. We had a little look at Max Wood there, who made that outstanding run late on in the first half for Warrington Wolves, and it was George Lawler who got the solitary try for Castleford. And now we're just having a look at how things are going to turn out, because it looks like Lachlan Fitzgibbon has not made it out for the second half. So Kev, we talked about whether or not he would be wrapped up in cotton wool after sustaining what looked like a little bit of an injury in the first half. He managed to run it off, but perhaps Warrington erring on the side of caution there.
Yeah, hopefully so, for everyone's sake. James Harrison, it is the big front rower who was terrific in the middle of the field, has gone out to that left edge alongside Aaron Lindop.
The rest of the players that are out there, though, giving no quarter in defence as Castleford try to shove their way back into this game. Here's George Hill, who's come off the bench for Castleford. We'll try and bring it forward again here through Hoy, and Horn waits just behind him. And then it'll be another huge kick forward from the Castleford defence, and Duffy elects to just hold a touch on that one first before bringing it forward.
Again, just charges straight back at a couple of front rowers, finds his front, very strong back man.
Thewlis in the tackle before Powell brings it out away again to the other Thewlis. We've got 2 Thewlises and 2 seniors on the pitch, so if anybody goes down and gets a head knock and then says they're seeing double, then you can understand why.
Yeah, they might see quadruple tonight.
Here's Powell in short for Ratchford. That was quickly, nicely picked up by Roderick Ty, who gets it out towards Josh Thewlis. Lovely run from Josh Thewlis, bringing it back inside, back to Ratchford, who takes the tackle from Liam Horn. Powell waits again, and they so quickly turn defence into attack here, Warrington Wolves. Out wide to the left-hand side from Curry, but almost picked up again there. But Josh Sim couldn't quite get hold of it properly.
He'd be disappointed with that. I thought that was there for the taking for Sim. It was a long looping pass. And Josh Sim almost second-guessed himself there. Am I going to go for the ball?
This is what happened to Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Just extended. He got his foot caught in the turf there. Hyperextension, and that can be very, very sore indeed.
I think there's probably a couple of sore areas on the body. He grabs his ankle initially, but then moves his hand up to his knee. So I hope for Lachlan Fitzgibbon's sake. Well, this is the first time he's getting the chance to play at Wembley, maybe his last.
Lindop pushing away to the left. And Thewlis brings it back inside again. Trying to push his way closer to the line. Takes 3 Castleford players to bring him down. Powell, Sneyd. Quick hands for Curry. Here's Wood. Wood still pushing his way through Max Wood. He is a real handful. Powell gets it away quickly again. Powell again, and Harrison drops the ball on this occasion.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to walk in, didn't he? The front rower turned back rower. There's a smile on his face, but he'll not be happy with that. It's a beautiful ball from Powell. There was nothing wrong with that. It was almost too easy for the big man. Just spills his lollies. He gives Castleford a slight chance. Spills his lollies. I'm sure he has a few lollies, James Harrison.
I've never heard that one before. Whatever it was, he spilled it. Castleford come away with the ball. Roderick Ty goes in for the tackle along with Steph Ratchford. James Harrison's appeared in 14 of 16 games for Warrington. He's been subbing the last 5, and every time he comes off the bench, he makes a big impact. As too has Max Wood. But Griffin now for Castleford Tigers. Lawler appended by 3, including the aforementioned Harrison. Horn, long looping pass for Atkin. Boy with quick hands again to Essie. Castleford on the attack here.
Great defence.
So Senior is wrapped up.
Viewless. Brilliant defence, and he's also made the error as well.
Not letting him go.
That's fantastic work by the centre and winger partnership. Viewless and Ty. Having them be strong tonight, the pair of them.
I'm sure if you're Sam Burgess, seeing that from your side at this stage of the game, knowing full well what's coming up next week, that will be a joy and a delight.
Yeah, you can imagine the same kind of play from Mikey Lewis, Peteriku and co. But if they defend like that, they're going to give themselves a massive chance, because that looked like it was going to be dangerous. And Josh Viewless just came in and threw everything he had at that tackle. Again, it gives Warrington really good field position now to attack from.
Sneed quickly into Lindop. Powell waiting. Into Harrison. Again, another powerful run from Harrison as Powell finds Curry. Curry looking for Philbin, but bypasses in with Roderick Ty now coming through the back line. Close contact meters gained there by Roderick Ty. Powell goes away to his left-hand side. Philbin skipping through almost. Griffin getting in on the tackle. Curry comes away with it. Down the line it goes, looking for Lindop. Slippery character, Aaron Lindop, as Viewless hoists up. So difficult pass for Sneed to get hold of, and he gets the kick away. He's going for it here, Dufty. He's very close in the corner. The referee will want to have a very close look at this one. So we'll be going up to Chris Kendall once again, but it's no try on the field.
Okay, we have a live call of no try. We're going to check onside, offside. Okay, we've got players in front, Harrison and Viewless out wide. Just see what Viewless does. Viewless then gets back beyond the play of the ball, where it's kicked, so he's okay as well. Harrison is going to be outside the 10. Okay, so we now need something tighter in. Okay, does Duff there touch the ball? Just going to check any other angles. Camera 9 is going to be no good. Camera 1, no. Camera 2, no. Okay, so camera 8 is going to be our best angle. Okay, he does touch the ball, but is the ball grounded in the goal, or is it grounded on the line? I have insufficient evidence to say that it is grounded in the field of play, so I'm going to support the live call.
Well, it was perfectly right that Marcus Griffiths have to send that one for another look, because it was very close indeed, but insufficient evidence to overturn the on-field decision made by Marcus Griffiths. It was almost a very special try from a very special player there, wasn't it?
Well, it was. He had no right even getting anywhere near the ball, but that just shows how much speed he has actually got, especially off the mark. But it was really nice from Mark Sneed as well. He got the ball behind him. I'm sure he wanted to kick to the right, turn to the left, and nearly came up with another try assist.
Castleford trying to get the ball out of their own half, and the patched up Griffin with Milnes, and now Lawler being aided and abetted by Seaney. There's a Horn from Atkin. And now Sim It's Hill, in fact, as Hoy comes away with it now. A little bit of trickery from Tex Hoy. I haven't seen an awful lot of that from him in this game so far. Let's see. Electing to come back inside, and again, still running into that primrose and blue brick wall. Hoisted forward by Milnes. Ty looking at it, comes off him. Senior. It's gone backwards.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that set though. Threatening on the left, threatening on the right, and then come up with a good kick. They've gone 100 metres. Now they just have to back it up with some defence, not give away any penalties.
Roderick Ty for the home side. Ratchford quickly into Thewlis. Four in the tackle on that occasion.
He still wins it. I think this has been the big difference tonight. How easy Warrington have got out of their own place.
Like a bar of soap, Josh Thewlis. They just can't keep a handle of him. There's his brother coming away with it, turning well over the halfway line. Powell. Sneed. Ratchford. Quick hands again, over the top, looking for Thewlis. Thewlis running into trouble.
Move, George!
Ty. Gets it away. Ratchford in towards Wood. This is the last one for Warrington Wolves. Powell will no doubt fire this one to Sneed, who fires it up into the glistening evening air. Hoy was underneath it, but was getting some attention there. Ty will come away with it. Roderick Ty going for the line. Can he make it? Just short.
What a tackle that is. Desperation there by Senior.
It's a contest for the ball, they're both competing. What?
We've got a player down in back play. So it looks like it's Tex Hoy who's taking a bit of a whack here.
When he jumped for the ball, Stefan Ratchford completely legal. He goes for it too, but he knocks the legs away. You just see it jolts his back, drops the ball.
Right on the back and the...
Bit of whiplash there for Tex Hoy. Castleford want to do anything tonight. Need him to stay out there. What a tackle this was.
He looked for all the world like he was going to score there, Roderick Ty.
He needed all that big long frame. Lewis Senior, 6'5", wrapped up Roderick Ty there. The job's only half done. If another 5 tackles.
Chris Atkin wanting to marshal his troops as Tex Hoy slowly gets his way back onto the pitch, having had a bit of treatment. Gingerly running back to his position.
He's actually off the field. I don't know whether it's a green card. But he's not in the defensive line. He's not back on the field, Fraser.
He still stood there. Warrington have possession. Ratchford, Ty, 2 quick hands, and that'll be a knock on.
Yeah, we see Tex Hoy there in the background. It is a green card. 2.5 minutes, I think it is.
Yeah. So, Castleford will be a player short for just a little while they make sure that Tex Hoy is fully back up to speed.
Saying he has to go around to the other side and stand at the dugout. He stood on the edge closest to us. He's running around there, but thankfully they've got the ball in the hand. They should be able to survive now, even with 12 men with the ball.
Josh Sim for the Tigers. Horn waiting behind him. There's been an infringement there as well. Offside this time against Warrington.
Yeah, a little bit too eager there. I think it was Adam Ulrod and Ben Curry, the culprits. Just trying to get off the line quickly. Marcus Griffiths is having none of that, and it's important now. Castleford just have an extended spell attacking the Warrington Wolves try line. If nothing else,
So, have Castleford got something up their sleeve here to try and attack the Warrington line? The score at this point would just put a bit more pressure on the home side. Atkin takes it quickly to Asi. Milnes, Senior is upended. That's a huge tackle from Roderick Ty, and he gets the congratulations of Stefan Ratchford there. Rightly so as well. Hill, 10 metres short. Horn waiting. They go to the right-hand side. Atkin quickly finding Asi. Hands though go in.
Hoy was back on the field. Just dropped the ball straight away. That would have been the introduction back onto the field he would have wanted.
There's been another penalty given here, offside against Castleford. And having had that little bit of field possession, just come up with a couple of errors.
Well, first job was to have an extended period down there. They failed on that. And then the second job is just to defend in the right areas of the field without giving penalties away. And they failed on that. We just got a glimpse of the coaching staff. A lot of glum faces. That's because all night they've just not given themselves a chance. Built any field position.
Under the pump again then, Castleford. And Philbin, 20 metres short of the Castleford line. And look at the effort that the Castleford players are having to put in to bring him down. It's real strength-sapping stuff. Wood, turning and twisting, still going Max Wood. This man is a little dynamo.
Great footwork there from the big man.
Powell goes to his left. Sneed out towards Dufty. Dufty into the breadbasket of Lindop. He was on a hiding to nothing there with 4 players just in front of him. He'll go again. Castleford, chip over the top from Sneed and Philbin. Curry rather. Ben Curry, simple as you like. A lovely chip over the top from Mark Sneed. And it just made it so easy for Ben Curry.
That's why I really like Ben Curry when he's in the middle of the field. He's such a naturally gifted footballer. He spots the space and takes Hoy out of position. And he knows how good Mark Sneed is. He can react to anything, and he points and he runs, and it's there on a plate for Ben Curry. But again, it comes from a relieving penalty, and when you've got a weapon like Mark Sneed's boot, kicking it 60 metres, and then he's also got the finesse on the end of it. Ben Curry puts this game out of reach, I'm sure, now for the Tigers. Beautiful weighted kick, bounces up perfect too. And again, Ben Curry, he'll be delighted with that. He's had a fantastic game, as all the middle unit have. Like you said before, Max Wood really putting his hand up and staking a claim to feature next week in that cup final.
Only Ben Curry's first try of the Super League season. He moves on to try number 98 for Warrington. Closing in on that century mark as Mark Sneed slots another one over and puts even more distance between the two sides.
Yeah, and it was perfect, wasn't it? He disguises his kicks so well. Whether he's looking at the position he's going to land the ball or not, it often finds the mark with precision, accuracy. And that was no different there. The big man, Sam Burgess, he'll be really happy with this performance. Clinical with and without the ball.
Castleford then, so just drops over there for Dejan Asi. And they'll have another go. This time he does get it away. And Thewlis takes it quickly. Before Philbin chases forward. What do you do? I was going to say, what do you do at this stage if you're the opposition coach?
Well,
really up against
he's
it.
just thrown a few big bodies on. Number 38, Brad Singleton, and number 39, Hugo Salabio, have just been reintroduced. And I think he'll reintroduce them and say, go and put some fight into this middle of the field. But again, Duffy, so dangerous out wide, running metres after metres.
Duffy still not tackled. Eventually, Hall and Lawler will bring him down. Going into this round, Duffy had made the most metres from kick returns of any player in Super League. 716. He's added to that total handsomely again tonight. Sneed, yet another chip forward. His kicking game is incredible. And as you mentioned there, on this occasion, Castleford with Josh Sims is elect to go and chip that one out.
Yeah, you often hear the phrase, when someone's kicking well, he's got it on a string, and he often has it on a string. Just see the perfect way he has to deal with that. But Warrington now, they're red hot out there, getting offloads. Whenever Mark Sneed's got the ball, there's just movement around him. Such a threatening ball carrier. Got all the skills.
And still playing and maturing like a fine wine, Mark Sneed, at the age of 34. I know there were one or two eyebrows that were raised when Warrington signed him from Salford, but he's turning out to be a beautiful piece of business.
Yeah, it's took him a little bit of time to get going and really slot into this side, but every good team has a great kicker of the ball. And there's none better than Mark Sneed. At the age of 34, he's probably playing some of the best football he's played all his career. Still very, very sharp, isn't he, with the ball, but his mind and his left foot quicker than everyone else in this competition.
Castleford with the ball in the scrum then as RC rolls it through. Sini comes away with it. Back in waiting. Singleton. Shoving and pushing. At Singleton, as he always has done year after year in his illustrious career.
This is where now Sam Burgess, I'm sure he'll be sending the message on Fraser to say, we've got to complete this now. 22 minutes to go. We've got to keep this feel-good factor and keep this performance. Don't drop your standards.
Be a huge fillip for them, wouldn't it? A win on this kind of scale ahead of next weekend. Vaughan comes away with it to Atkin, quickly into the hands of Salabio. Salabio, who's here on a season-long loan from Hull. But Hull have the option of recalling him within 2 weeks if they should so choose. Millens with the kick straight into the breadbasket, right down the throat of Matt Duffy, positioned himself perfectly.
Yeah, and he made it look easy again. He's almost nonchalant when he catches the ball, carries it back with VAT as well. And again, Josh Stewlis and his teammates just get on a roll straight away. Young Ben Hart alert, the reserve hooker.
He's come on as a sub. Josh Stewlis, tackled by a combination of Salabio and Singleton. As Hartill gets it away again for Curry. Hartill, quick hands from him as Sneed goes for the corner, putting real pressure on in his senior. He's done well. Hoy.
Yeah, Max Wood's also had a break. Has he done enough? I think he's been terrific tonight, Fraser.
He's really brought chaos to the Castleford
every time he's carried the ball, it's just been explosion after explosion. There's been bodies flying off him. His footwork and his intensity when he's carried the ball has been a real standout for me tonight.
Lots of great young players coming through this Warrington side. And Sam Burgess, although he's had to bring a lot of them in because of a lot of the injuries that they've had, but they have stood up very, very well and taken their opportunities.
Yeah, that's something Gary Chambers, the old head of youth and now the director of rugby at the Warrington Wolves, you know, can definitely take some credit for.
Lawler's lost possession here. I think there's going to be a captain's challenge here. Yeah, Lawler was involved in that tackle. The ball went loose, but Castleford are throwing this one upstairs, and we'll hear once again from Chris Kendall.
Okay, Castleford are challenging the decision of a knock-on. We're looking to find the ball. Lawler's in possession. Sneed's around the ball. Okay, Sneed has a lock on the arm. He's touching the ball, but he has a lock on the arm. There is no pull on the ball. He's pulling at the arm, and the ball comes loose. Challenge unsuccessful.
So the challenge is unsuccessful. We've seen an awful lot of that, but I have to admit, we've got to hand it to the players. When they first started the captain's challenge, that they were losing pretty much every single one, but they're getting wise to it now.
Yeah, George Lawler hasn't though. He's, unfortunately, and it was a real tough one, wasn't it? He got a lock on, and I thought it were perfectly explained by Chris Kendall, the match official. He wasn't making a stripping action on the ball. Paul Vaughan comes back on to finish this game off, I'm sure.
You can see the stats there. 5 successful challenges, 7 unsuccessful challenges, but early doors, that was very much heavier in the unsuccessful column for the vast majority of clubs. And as I say, they do seem to be getting the hang of it. And I know it does seem to be very, very popular among a lot of the players and a lot of the pundits as well.
Move with me.
Keeps the referees honest too, doesn't it? They can just turn around and say, well, if you don't agree with it, challenge it.
Dufty did well there to get it away, but too far behind Thulis, and that one's gone out of play. Into the last 20 minutes of the game. And Warrington still very much in control. Probably
the first blotch on his copybook there, Matt Dufty. I think they're going to challenge this as well. If I was a betting man, it looked to me like he threw the ball in touch, but he'd say there's a hand in.
So, yes, we go again. Chris Kendall is earning his money tonight.
Okay, so Warrington are challenging the decision of touch. They are claiming that there has been a touch in flight by Castleford. Okay, he certainly gets very close to the ball. Can't tell on that if it's definitely been touched or not. We'll go around all the angles. Again, camera 8, I'm limited with camera 8. Let's have a look on camera 1, see if this shows me anything. Again, can't really see much on 1. Camera 2. He certainly gets very close. Camera 5 is probably the last one. Okay, I've explored all the angles. It's inconclusive whether it has been touched in flight or not. So we're going to stick with the on-field decision, and Warrington are going to retain their right to challenge.
So, inconclusive on that one. Just goes to show that despite all the angles we have, it's not always as easy as you may think.
No, I do think Matt Dufty was correct there. For me, it looked like the ball changed its course. But Castleford, they need to really, if they are going to show any fight in this game, it needs to happen quickly. With just over 18 minutes to go, they need to start moving this ball and really ask some questions. You can't just keep ploughing it into the middle of the field and expecting things to change. You see him getting drove back. The first tackle.
Yeah, successful challenges have been pretty rare for Warrington so far. Just the 3. Bit of impetus here from Assi. This is good work. Nicely done from Sam Hall. 30 metres from the Warrington line now, Castleford. Trying to put a bit of pressure on the home side. Assi, quick, out to Milnes. And then 3 in the tackle to eventually stop Lawler. Horn into Atkin. Atkin with a quick offload in towards Singleton. 10 metres from the line now, Castleford, to try and restore a bit of pride. Milnes down the line. Hoy waiting for Lawler. Bounces off a defender. Still going Tex Hoy. Horn again at dummy half, goes for the short side. Milnes misses out the pass and finds Lawler again. And Lawler will get his second try of this game and give Castleford a bit of something to cheer about.
Yeah, and it was beautiful play by Rowan Milnes, but tell you something, Mark Sneed won't want to see this one again. He shoots up, he almost goes for the intercept. He gets embarrassed by Rowan Mills. The double pump shows the dummy. And then for the second time tonight, that partnership, you see him flash late to the short side. Watch Mark Sneed bang. He's out the line, and George Lawler, he has an easy passage, no one there. You'll see on this one, he just gambles, and he gambles too much. He's too smart there, is Rowan Mills. And the combination of Mills and Lawler comes up with a second try between them tonight. George Lawler's had a really good game in the back row, considering he normally puts his head in where most people wouldn't, in the front row.
Yeah, he's been a huge part of what Castleford have done so far this season. George Lawler, having played in all 13 games. And of course, he is a former LKR player between 2015 and 2021, where he made 103 appearances, so he won't be wanting to do Warrington any favours this evening.
And it just gives them a glimmer of hope. It's a much better set. Although they scored points, I thought they were really threatening before that too. Went down the left, and Sam Hall made a little bit of a break and a dent in them. And then we saw the conclusion to the set coming up with points by that combination once again.
Salabio. Whack on Salabio. That's a huge hit.
He's given away a few kilograms there. Adam Ulroyd on big Salabio.
Senior rolls it away to Horn. Singleton. Singleton again, pushing away the Warrington defenders. Back in quickly. On the hands it goes. RC. Just over the halfway line.
A dangerous period now, isn't it, Fraser?
If they can score again here, Castleford, then the cat could well be among the pigeons. Salabio gets another 10 metres as Horn now finds Assi. Big high kick. They'll want to put some pressure on this one. Senior going straight in on Dufty, but he wriggles away beautifully. Matt Dufty. And it's the third challenge that eventually brings him down from Singleton.
So good with a tackle burst. He breaks 3 tackles, wins the floor, and then wins a penalty. That's brilliant play by the Australian fullback. He's having fun.
He's still got a big smile on his face as well. He's absolutely loving it here, isn't he?
He's just ran straight through 2 front rowers, so he's ripped the ball on the floor. You can't do that, big Brad Singleton.
Fullback in 13 of 16 matches, Matt Dufty, going into this game, including the last 10. Even in defeat against LKR last week in that Challenge Cup dress rehearsal, he still made 22 carries. Ratchford to Thewlis. Ben Hartill waiting just behind him as Thewlis just gives Salabio a little bit of a shove off there. It's gone backwards off the feet of Ty. Play on, says the referee, for Dufty to come forward an extra few metres. Hartill in towards Vaughan, who's come back on. And that's the last thing Castleford want to see. Hartill again. Goes to his left. Sneed, chip forward straight into the hands of the Castleford defenders, though, on this occasion, as Rowan Mills comes away with it.
Yeah, it's been a great little battle over there by the 2 left-footed kickers, Mills, and now he wins a penalty. He wants to get on with it quick.
Yeah, Warrington just caught out the position there momentarily. Very quick play of the ball from Cass. And they'll regain it on the halfway line with Sini.
Again, it's another massive opportunity for the Tigers. There's still a long time to go, 13 minutes.
Salabio. Waiting for support. As Hill gets it down the line into RC. Misses out Singleton and goes for Mills instead. Here's Tex Hoy. Hoy turning and twisting before eventually getting tackled. Not far away from the 10-metre line. Senior gets it out to RC again, and now Singleton will eat some more metres up before they get it out to the left-hand side. But it is Senior. And the cat could be among the pigeons now. Senior flying into the corner, gets Castleford just a little bit closer, with a good deal of time still left in this game.
Yeah, and it's almost been the clock that's made them play. This is a beautiful short side play. Make no mistake, this is by design. Brad Singleton comes back this way, and then Chris Atkins out the back. So much to do, the quick hands, and then what a finish by Innis Senior. We saw something similar in the first half, but that's a beautiful play. You can put that down to Danny Maguire, the coach. Comes back with the front rower. It's almost an ambush play where Roderick Tide just can't help himself coming in, flying in. And then talk about flying in. Innis Senior flies in at the corner, and this is a big kick now by Rowan Milnes to close the deficit to 10 points.
Well, Innis Senior was Castleford Tigers' only ever-present player in 29 games in League and Cup for Castleford last season in 2024. 17 tries he got, that's his 6th of the season in Super League. And what a kick this is now for Rowan Milnes. Pressure on, and the home crowd really trying to make it difficult for him as he strikes it beautifully between the posts. 3 from 3 now for Rowan Milnes, and they're now within 12 points. Yeah. 10 points, in fact. My maths was never great. 10 points.
Yeah, 10 points and 2 tries. The Tigers have got over 10 minutes to do it, or bang on 10 minutes to do it now. This is the last thing that Sam Burgess would have wanted going into the game next week. Real close finish to the game. They almost have to win this game twice now.
A 10-point difference with 10 minutes to go. What have you got, Castleford? Let's see.
Well, that helps.
An error.
A penalty.
And the pressure now is suddenly swinging in the opposite direction.
And if you trace the try back from the last time it came from a penalty, Rowan Milnes found touch in a similar area. So can they get a similar result on this one?
So they move up the field, Castleford, Atkin, and all of a sudden they've got the wind in their sails, the Tigers. Lawler, scorer of 2 of Castleford's tries so far this evening. Atkin wants to move it quickly and does so. Arce takes the tackle 30 metres from the Warrington line. Hill wants it played quickly again. It's not coming out quick enough. Milnes, though, goes for the kick to the corner. It's a foot race here. Dufty was well positioned. Has he been brought back, though?
That's great defence. It's beautiful defence there by Josh Sim. I think going to challenge this one. Matt Dufty feels like the tackle was already made.
Well, there's a real conflab going on here between these players. And sure enough, Marcus Griffiths is going to go back to Chris Kendall for a decision on this one. We've got another captain's challenge.
This is a huge call.
Okay, Warrington are challenging the decision of a goal line dropout. They're claiming that the tackle is already complete. It's a Dufty in possession. We're going to watch it full speed. Okay. As soon as hands are put on him, that is tackle complete. You can't then pick the player up and put him in goal, which is what he does. So at this point now, tackle's complete, and he then second effort puts him in goal. It's challenge successful.
Well, that is a rarity, but Warrington have gone and rolled the dice and rolled it correctly. And I have to admit, Kev, when I saw that in real time, I did think that was tackle completed and then they pushed him back in.
Yeah, it was real smart play by the fullback. He didn't try and, find any meters. He got to the floor, and it's the correct decision, although they got to it after a little bit of a stoppage and a challenge. But that's huge for the Wolves. Instead of dropping out, they start the set on the 30-metre line.
Warrington breathe a huge sigh of relief, and it relieves a little bit of the pressure. 2 successful challenges now for Warrington in this game.
Move back, back.
Here's Vaughan. Offload to Harrison. Harrison over the halfway line.
Move onside.
And again, Warrington move into Castleford territory. Hartill out wide to Sneed.
George Lawler,
And that's
move.
Yates. They're moving it quickly again here with Vaughan. Vaughan, lovely offload from him. Lovely little offload from Duffy. Finds Ratchford. Stefan Ratchford. Stefan Ratchford on his 350th appearance for the Warrington Wolves. Marks a special occasion with a special try. And surely now that puts the game out of reach. And Castleford will be going to Wembley on the back of a victory in Super League.
Yeah, and it was a special try, and it was made by special players. The first one who's done this over and over again tonight, Paul Vaughan. He gets that big right arm free and finds the incredible Matt Duffy. And then it's almost telepathic between Steph Ratchford and Duffy. He's looking right, and he finds the pass to the left. I can't wait to watch the replay of this one. Paul Vaughan skips over, gets the big bend in the right arm, and look at this pass, the no-look pass, and then Stefan Ratchford. He's not as young and as quick as he used to be, but he's still so very talented. And on that 350th appearance, caps it off with a fantastic try and puts this Castleford Tigers side finally to bed.
Well, it all came from that run from Paul Vaughan and the offload. And a lovely inside pass from Matt Duffy.
And he's been around everything that's been dangerous and threatening and points producing tonight, Matt Duffy. He's had a stellar game, as is the man kicking the goal.
Just to put the icing on the cake, Stefan Ratchford being given the opportunity to convert his own try. And it's a special night for this man. And he strikes it through, and much to the delight of the Warrington Wolves fans, that surely is the game done.
Yeah, and a bit of a sigh of relief from the fans. They could sense that this game needed to be put to bed, and now it has. And it's that experienced trio of Ratchford, Vaughan and Duffy that surely finish this Tigers team off.
Stefan Ratchford, 4th on the all-time appearances chart for Warrington Wolves. As Castleford come away with this one.
And Aaron Lindop, similar to the first half when Texoy had his legs taken away.
Okoro has come back onto the field as a substitute as Castleford realise that this game is not quite over yet. Tex Hoy, Ratchford can't get hold of him. Vaughan can, and Vaughan does.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want as a fullback. The big pause, Paul Vaughan getting hold of you.
Singleton pushing through tackles here. Ratchford does eventually get hold of Singleton this time with a bit of help from Roderick Tye. Hill just behind him. Castleford not going away, not giving up just yet. Arcee, offload from him. Hill dropping on the ball just to make sure that they keep possession. Atkin gets it away quickly. Milnes going for the corner. Up they go, hands all over the place, picked up again.
Danger.
Two. Matt Duffy streaking away.
Again, threatening kick. But he just picks it up his bootlaces. Gets to the 20-metre line.
Even from kicks like that, it's as if he has a sixth sense as to knowing exactly where the ball is going to drop. Lindop to Hartill. And now Thewlis. Thewlis again, still bumping off tackles here.
So strong, isn't it? The winger.
Even at this stage of the game, with a game won, They still have this hunger, Warrington Wolves, to push forward again and again and again.
He just tried to force the offload there, Paul Vaughan. It spilled out. Danakoro gets on the ball.
We're into the last 3 minutes of the game, Kevin. I'm going to have to ask you to start thinking about your Betfred player of the match, but keep it to yourself for the moment. We'll speak to whoever it is a little bit later on. I have my suspicions, but I'll leave it to you to decide. Meanwhile, Tex Hoy into RC, and Hoy is on his haunches again momentarily. But back into play once more. Caro was tackled. Milnes comes through towards Harrison and Yates. Hill still not giving up here. Castleford Tigers, a chip over the top from Atkin, and there he is once more. The flying Matt Duffy.
Yeah, he needs to fly, didn't he? He's not the tallest, but he gets up above everyone else and comes down with the ball. And I'm sure that's important for Sam Burgess and the team. Not to concede any more than 3 tries tonight. At the end of this game, we'll close it out and get these fans with a lot of expectation and anticipation for next week.
Lindop coming through, pushing away again as Ben Hartel picks this one up. And now Vaughan. Vaughan has really put a shift in tonight, but he will have the full 7 days now to recover ahead of that trip to Wembley next weekend, of course. Hoy in towards Harrison and Sneed, who are making the tackle. Mills. Wood is back on. Again, the last thing Castleford would want to see. Harrison going in for the tackle. Lawler picks up the loose ball.
It's been a better second half performance from the Tigers. They just left themselves way too much to do. I think Danny Maguire will be disappointed with the amount of errors and the ill discipline. It's just continued that theme over and over again.
When that try went in from Innes Senior, we wondered if we might be in for a grandstand finish there, but it was not to be, as Ratchford made sure of things. I see Lawler, lovely hands this, they're still going here. Castleford, Atkin going for the line, guts it out towards Senior again. And it's Josh Sim who's gone in over in the corner as the hooter goes. And a little bit more pride restored for the Castleford Tigers, but they have won this game, Warrington Wolves, by some stretch.
Yeah, they've been far and away the better team, but they will be disappointed a couple of times, especially on that left edge for the Wolves. They've gone looking for the interceptor to knock balls down. They're flying out the line. And the Tigers, Chris Atkin, who I think's been a real smart pick-up from Danny Maguire and Chris Chester, has really contributed to this side, albeit in a loss tonight. Josh Sim scores on the hooter.
So the hooter is already gone, the game is won, but Rowan Milnes still has the chance to add a little bit extra on the scoreline for Castleford Tigers. He's had a good kicking record so far in this game, but this one very, very tough indeed. Not that it will make much of a difference to the scoreline. Strikes it well. The officials go over, the flag is raised, and the points are scored to make it a more respectable scoreline between these two sides. Just 10 points the difference in the end. But you have to say, Warrington Wolves have gone about this game with the perfect kind of approach.
Well, job done. I thought they approached the game perfectly well. They was tough. Attack-wise, they were very dangerous. And I'm sure they got anyone off. The little cloud will probably be Lachlan Fitzgibbon, but I'm just watching him come on the field and high-five his teammates, and he doesn't look to be limping. So job done, no injuries, good performance and 2 points, 2 vital points.